Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Welcome to Government House. My name is Hugh Borrowman. I have the honour to be the official secretary to His Excellency the Governor. This is the first of three ceremonies to present Australian honours, most of which were announced on Australia Day this year. The event is being live streamed on our Government House website and will be available for viewing there afterwards, should you so wish. As we start, can I please ask that you ensure all your phones are in silent mode. Ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding for the arrival of His Excellency the Governor and Mrs. Lan Lei, and please remain standing for the playing of the Vice-Regal Salute. Your Excellency, the following appointment to Member of the Order of Australia in the General Division has been made. Ms. Anne Gordon Burgess is recognised for significant service to mental health, to gender equality and to older persons. Widely known as an exceptional consumer advocate, Ms. Burgess has more than 40 years' experience in leadership roles focused on social justice and equality. Her career as a senior public servant culminated in a 2-year term as Acting Commissioner for Equal Opportunity, following 8 years as Deputy. With a strong background in planning, strategy and problem solving, she has worked with a wide range of organisations across the health, mental health and equal opportunity arenas. These include the SA Public Sector Grievance Review Commission, the Office for Women, the Department of Human Services Mental Health Division. Ms. Burgess has held various board positions at state and federal levels, including with the Aged Rights Advocacy Services, Council of the Ageing, Northern Adelaide Local Health Network, Older Persons Advocacy Network, the Asthma Foundation and the National Aged Care Health Alliance. Looking to the future, she is well known as a mentor and trusted sounding board for emerging leaders in human services. Ms. Anne Gordon Burgess. Your Excellency, the Australian Police Medal is awarded to the following recipients. Chief Inspector Colin James Cunningham is recognised for distinguished service to the community within the South Australia Police. Chief Inspector Cunningham has worked for South Australia Police since 1977. His career has included uniform patrols, investigations, intelligence, crime training, legislation and policy, security and media and corporate communications. He has served as a designated detective attached to specialist and suburban CIB postings, the National Crime Authority, and was a founding investigator in SAPOL's anti-corruption branch. He coordinated the intelligence function of the 2004 World Information Technology Conference, multiple rallies and protests, major joint counter-terrorism exercise, and the APEC conference, high-profile dignitary visits, and has held intelligence-based roles during natural disasters. Serving in media and marketing roles, he is relied upon to provide well-considered media advice, particularly during crisis situations. Chief Inspector Cunningham has provided dedicated and committed service to South Australia Police and the community throughout his career of more than 40 years. Chief Inspector Colin James Cunningham. Detective Superintendent Kim David Hand is recognised for distinguished service to the community within the South Australia Police. Detective Superintendent Hand has served South Australia Police since 1977. With a career focusing on criminal investigation and leadership roles, his work has shaped a number of major firearms and corporate reform projects. Detective Superintendent Hand has led diverse SAPOL projects, including the implementation of mobile automated number plate recognition, portable fingerprint scanners, and the deployment of mobile computing for operational members. As officer in charge of the firearms branch, he was responsible for the conception, development and introduction of the Firearms Regulations 2017, regulations to operationalise the Firearms Act 2015, and the Firearm Prohibition Order Project. Detective Superintendent Hand has managed a diverse range of areas during his more than 43-year career and has consistently demonstrated leadership, professionalism, and a dedication to achieving outcomes for South Australia Police and for the benefit of the wider community. Detective Superintendent Kim David Hand. Chief Superintendent Paul Matthew Ralphs is recognised for distinguished service to the community within the South Australia Police. Chief Superintendent Ralphs joined SAPOL in 1982 and since then has served in a diverse range of postings. These include the Police Communications Group, Firearms Branch, Expiation Notices Branch, and Human Resource Service. He has been leader of change and continuous improvement, encouraging others to look for service delivery improvements that benefit the organisation and the public. During his time in Firearms Branch, he was instrumental in leading the development of lawful and transparent processes for the application and approving of firearms prohibition orders, dedicated serious firearm investigations, and legislative changes to prevent criminal activity involving firearms. All this has contributed to increasing the safety of the South Australian community. Chief Superintendent Ralph's organisational knowledge and experience during his 38-year career and his commitment to SAPOL and to the community of South Australia has been exemplary. Chief Superintendent Paul Matthew Ralphs. Your Excellency, the Medal of the Order of Australia in the General Division has been awarded to the following recipients. Ms. Jill Argent is recognised for service to cultural heritage and the arts in South Australia. Ms. Argent is passionate about art and history, having devoted more than 32 years of voluntary work to organisations such as the Independent Arts Foundation of South Australia, Carrick Hill Historic House Trust, and Friends of Carrick Hill. As President of the Friends of Carrick Hill since 2008, she has grown the membership, expanded the fundraising roles, and overseen a considerable donation program. Adept at publicising Carrick Hill in the media, Ms. Argent is also a joint author of the book Heydays of the Haywards, about the property's former owners and benefactors. As a volunteer, she has been the buyer for the gift shop, the membership officer, and has designed and managed the children's art program. In addition to her work with Carrick Hill, Ms. Argent brought extensive organisational and fundraising experience to the Deputy Chair role at the Independent Arts Foundation of South Australia, as well as being a highly regarded long-term member. She is also recognised for her service to the Pepper Street Arts Centre in McGill, her role as an art teacher at Living Choice Fullerton, and as a contributing Sala artist. Ms. Jill Argent. Mr. Ronald Peter Duncan is recognised for service to the community of Stansbury. Mr. Duncan has devoted more than 40 years to the Yorke Peninsula community. Believing that service clubs can fill a gap in funding and community needs, he joined the Lions Club of Yorktown and Districts, serving multiple times as President and Secretary. He then became the founding President of the Lions Club of Stansbury Dalrymple and served as its Treasurer for 7 years from 2010. Proud of the Yorks, where he has lived most of his life, he was the smiling face at Stansbury Visitor Information Centre for 7 years and delivered Meals on Wheels for 11. Mr. Duncan is also acknowledged for his tireless service to a multitude of organisations, including the Stansbury Bowling Club, Oakland's Tennis Club, Weaver's Agricultural Bureau, as well as church, youth, aged care and childhood cancer support groups. Earlier this year, Mr. Duncan and his wife Chris were named as Joint Stansbury Citizens of the Year. Mr. Ronald Peter Duncan. Your Excellency, the Medal of the Order of Australia in the Military Division has been awarded to the following recipient. Captain Stephen BECKMANN is recognised for meritorious service in the field of defence strategic communications. For 4 decades, Captain BECKMANN has been a pivotal figure in the Royal Australian Navy and the Australian Defence Force Joint Communications Communities. Throughout his career, he has engineered countless communications circuits from ships at sea, tirelessly working to support operational command and control, situational awareness, and the welfare of deployed Navy personnel. His deep knowledge of Defence's strategic networks has been a key enabler in the removal of choke points and single points of failure that have caused high-impact defence-wide network disruptions. Captain BECKMANN has trained several generations of junior communications sailors and has directly influenced the development and delivery of the courses that still underpin the Royal Australian Navy's communications trades. Captain BECKMANN's outstanding leadership, vision and dedication are in the finest traditions of the Australian Defence Force. Captain Stephen BECKMANN. Your Excellency, the following appointment to Member of the Order of Australia in the General Division has been made. Professor John Lionel Crompton is recognised for significant service to ophthalmology and to the community of the Asia-Pacific region. Professor Crompton has spent a lifetime helping restore the sight of people in places as far spread as Kiribati, Tuvalu, Vanuatu, Fiji, Myanmar, Indonesia, Laos, China and Cambodia. Undertaking humanitarian work with charities including Sight for All, he not only performed eye surgery in Southeast Asian countries, but established training programs for local doctors and nurses. Known for his commitment to finding solutions to complex eye problems, Professor Crompton has taught in 17 countries and, since the COVID-19 pandemic, has continued teaching via webinars hosted by Sight for All. Dozens of eye doctors throughout Australia have also benefited from Professor Crompton's teaching at the Royal Adelaide Hospital, Broken Hill Base Hospital and Royal Darwin Hospital. A former head of the Royal Adelaide Hospital Eye Department, he is also recognised for his contributions to St John Ambulance as an executive member and as a consultant ophthalmologist in various Australian Army Reserve positions. Professor John Lionel Crompton. Emeritus Professor Ronald Douglas McEvoy is recognised for significant service to medical research, particularly to respiratory and sleep health. Professor McEvoy has had a distinguished 25-year career at the forefront of sleep research, both nationally and internationally. He has led a number of important multi-centre clinical trials in sleep medicine and is presently the principal investigator of the International Sleep Apnea Cardiovascular Endpoint Study, known as SAVE. Many professional organisations have benefited from his knowledge and leadership, including the Australasian Sleep Association, the Professional Standards Committee of the Thoracic Society of Australia and New Zealand, and the Sleep Health Foundation. Professor McEvoy has published more than 200 research papers on topics ranging from respiratory and sleep physiology to clinical trials of new diagnostic treatment and management methods for sleep apnea, as well as research on improving the delivery of community sleep health services. In 2011, he received the Distinguished Achievement Award of the Australian Sleep Association for his outstanding contributions to sleep research and sleep medicine. His vision and stewardship has seen the Adelaide Institute for Sleep Health become one of the world's leading sleep research centres. Emeritus Professor Ronald Douglas McEvoy. Your Excellency, the Medal of the Order of Australia in the General Division has been awarded to the following recipients. Ms. Wendy Jane Gabarrett is recognised for service to the community of the Murray Bridge region. Ms. Gabarrett is a shining example of an inspirational and devoted leader. Moving to the Murray Lands more than 30 years ago, she has devoted a lifetime to community work, particularly through Rotary, the Mid-Murray Council, and a multitude of roles in regional development, aged care, land care and tourism. After joining the Rotary Club of Mobilong in 2005, she became its president just a year later. She later served as Governor of District 9520, 2013-14, and became Rotary National Public Image Coordinator for 3 years. Ms. Gabarrett is also recognised for her service as chairperson of the Murray Lands Retirement Village, Murray Bridge Disaster Committee, Our Wellbeing Place, the Rockley Land Care Group, and Farm Stays Tourism Committee. Ms. Wendy Jane Gabarret. Mrs. Catherine McKechnie is recognised for service to the Uniting Church in Australia and to the trade union movement. Mrs. McKechnie has been an active member of the Golden Grove Uniting Church since 1974. She is an elder of the church, a former chairperson, and currently holds the position of Secretary-Treasurer. She works tirelessly as Women's Fellowship Convener and as a member of the Golden Grove Mission, visiting the Estia Health Nursing Home monthly. Outside her volunteer work for the church, Mrs. McKechnie is a passionate trade unionist. She has been a member of the Australian Manufacturing Workers Union South Australian branch since 1984. She was State Councillor of the Union for a number of years and its President from 2000 to 2002. She was also Mother of the Chapel for its print division from 1996 to 2009. Since 2012, she has held the position of South Australian Secretary of the Australian Manufacturing Workers Union Retired Members Division and has been National President since 2015. Mrs. Catherine McKechnie. Mr. Peter David Rostron is recognised for service to the community of Tea Tree Gully. For more than half a century, Mr. Rostron has been committed to the community of Tea Tree Gully. He was recognised for his service with a Community Award in 2004. In 1958, he founded the Tea Tree Gully Boys Club, now TTG Gym Sports, and has been a life member since 1966. He is also a life member of Australian JCs, which he joined in 1959 and rose to the rank of South Australian State President in 1969. A keen cricketer and croquet player, Mr. Rostron has sat on the Board of Management of the Tea Tree Gully Croquet Club and has been the Tea Tree Gully Cricket Club representative to the Tea Tree Gully Progress Association. His community spirit extends to 4 decades of membership with the Tea Tree Gully Rotary Club, including as chairman and member of a range of committees such as International Service, Rotary Foundation and Vocational Service. Mr. Peter David Rostron. Your Excellency, the Conspicuous Service Medal has been awarded to the following recipient. Captain LACHLAN David Joseph is recognised for meritorious achievement as the current Operations Officer at Headquarters 3rd Brigade. In December 2018 and January 2019, monsoonal rains caused extensive flooding in Townsville, threatening lives and causing extensive damage to homes and property. Captain Joseph's work with the 3rd Brigade made an outstanding contribution to the military response to this disaster. His leadership, skill and judgment played an important role in evacuating residents, damage prevention and a clean-up for the 2 in 3 Townsville homes affected by the floodwater. In addition to his time with 3rd Brigade, Captain Joseph has served with distinction internationally. He has worked as a United Nations military expert on mission in Israel and Syria, and also undertook deployment to Afghanistan, mentoring Afghan National Army instructors. Captain LACHLAN David Joseph. Your Excellency, the following appointments to member of the Order of Australia in the General Division have been made. Dr. Susan Joan Gaffney is recognised for significant service to dental professional organisations and to education. Dr. Gaffney is highly regarded as a dental practitioner who has demonstrated an outstanding level of commitment to her patients, believing that good oral health is also important for appearance and self-esteem. A private general dental practitioner and Australian Dental Association member throughout her career, she has been generous in giving back to the profession. Dr. Gaffney was a Foundation Committee member of the SA Women's Dentists Association, a member of the Oral Health Advisory Committee for the SA Government from 2001 to 2006, and a curriculum chair at a number of Australian universities. She was closely involved in the work of the Australian Dental Council, undertaking various roles including Deputy President, President, Treasurer and Director. Shaped by her wider commitment to ensuring our most vulnerable people can lead dignified lives and have access to services, she has served several community organisations such as Holiday Explorers, Cottage Homes, the Carers Association, as well as the SA Guardianship Board. Dr. Susan Joan GAFFNEY. Associate Professor Michael Gordon Penniment is recognised for significant service to medicine and to radiation oncology. Professor Penniment has spent his 30-year career in radiation oncology dedicated to ensuring regional and rural cancer patients receive access to the best possible cancer therapy. As a founder of Darwin's Alan Walker Cancer Centre, he has led the way for research into improving Indigenous cancer care. He has held key positions within the Central Northern Adelaide Health Service as Director of the Department of Radiation Oncology and Staff Specialist at the Royal Adelaide Hospital. Throughout his career, Professor Penniment has maintained an active interest in research, quality improvement and governance as the lead for the Royal Australian and New Zealand College of Radiologists Particle Therapy Group and as a member of several leading cancer trial groups. With a passion for the advancement of radiation therapy to benefit current and future patients, he has been instrumental in the establishment of the Australian Bragg Centre for Proton Therapy, which is set to be the first proton therapy unit in the Southern Hemisphere. Associate Professor Michael Gordon Penniment. Dr. Roy Frederick Scragg is recognised for significant service to medicine, to epidemiology and to professional medical associations. Dr. Scragg devoted 27 years to health services in Papua New Guinea, including directing the expansion of medical care, research, prevention and education in that country. He is Foundation Professor of Social and Preventative Medicine at the PNG University and was pivotal in fostering epidemiological research leading to major improvements in healthcare. His work into neonatal cretinism, kuru, neonatal tetanus, and the links between infertility and gonorrhea have had worldwide significance. Dr. Scragg was integral to fostering a long-term relationship between his alma mater, the University of Adelaide, and Papua New Guinea. He also served the Papua New Guinea community as a Member of Parliament for 11 years and is an officer of the Order of the British Empire for public service in Papua New Guinea. His contribution to professional associations are many, including the Royal Australian College of Medical Administrators, Australasian Epidemiology Association, Australian Public Health Association, and the Australian-New Zealand Society of the History of Medicine. Dr. Roy Frederick Scragg. Your Excellency, the Conspicuous Service Cross has been awarded to the following recipient. Wing Commander Naomi van der Linden is recognised for outstanding achievement in ethics and leadership development and delivery for the Australian Defence Force as Acting Director of the Centre for Defence Leadership and Ethics. Wing Commander van der Linden demonstrated outstanding leadership and an extraordinary capacity for work as Acting Director. She was the driving force behind raising the profile and reputation of the Centre, delivering thoroughly researched and highly regarded training across the domains of military leadership, values, culture and ethics. Her extraordinary achievements have brought the Australian Defence Force an enhanced reputation as a highly progressive organisation within the international military leadership and ethics communities. Wing Commander Naomi van der Linden. Your Excellency, the Medal of the Order of Australia in the General Division has been awarded to the following recipients. The late Mr. James Henry Hugo is recognised for service to the community of South Australia. His award will be accepted by his wife, Mrs. Faye Hugo, on behalf of the family. Mr. Hugo started work as a temporary prison officer at Yatala Labour Prison in 1967, where he worked in various positions until 1995. He then worked as a visiting inspector with the Department for Correctional Services, rising through the ranks to hold the position of coordinator visiting inspectors from 2002 until his retirement in 2019. From 1995, Mr. Hugo volunteered as a Justice of the Peace, working at various times within Campbelltown Council, Burnside Council, and Norwood, Payneham and St Peters Council. In his capacity as a JP, he also attended police destructions of firearms and drugs. Mr. Hugo was a much respected member of the Adelaide correctional community, lending his name to the James Hugo complex at the Northfield Correctional Complex. The late Mr. James Henry Hugo. Mrs. Helen Margaret Sandow is recognised for service to the communities of Peterborough and Nuriupta. In 1977, following the death of her husband Bill, Mrs. Sandow was asked to take his place on the Peterborough District Council. She was its first female councillor and held this position for the next 2 decades. But Mrs. Sandow's service to her region goes beyond her work on the council. For more than 30 years, from 1978 to 2001, she volunteered with the Peterborough and Barossa branches of Meals on Wheels South Australia. She has been a member of the Australian Red Cross since 1978, holding a 40-year service bar, and continues to volunteer with the Nuriupta branch. She is a former executive committee member of both the Peterborough Bowling Club and the Peterborough Golf Club. She was a foundation member of the Peterborough Probus and is past secretary of the Barossa District Ladies Probus Club, where she remains a member. She was also treasurer of Nuriupta RSL Legacy Widows from 2007 until it ceased operation in 2020. Mrs. Helen Margaret Sandow. Dr. John Garth Willoughby is recognised for service to ophthalmology and to sailing. Throughout his career, Dr. Willoughby has shown an extraordinary commitment to bringing healthcare to people in rural and remote areas in South Australia and beyond. Fostering a strong belief that country people would rather have their surgery where they live, he created a company called Roving Eyes, performing cataract surgery in the Barossa and on Kangaroo Island for many years. Dr. Willoughby was also the founder of Vision of Islands, a charity providing eye care and equipment in Tonga and Tuvalu. Today, he is a well-known and respected ophthalmologist in the town of Gawler. A keen sailor, Mr. Willoughby has also been a member of the Royal South Australian Yacht Squadron since 1987 and has competed in the Sydney to Hobart 6 times and won the Melbourne to Hobart in 2010. Dr. John Garth Willoughby.